Hey guys, this is Tim Lee, co-founder and CEO of LendAPI. Today, I'm going to show you a few more things on our platform, namely our rules builder. Lots of us are in the risk management community as well, I guess. And oftentimes finding ourselves unable to manage decisions, rules, scorecards, maybe even models. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. So our website is always, lendapi.com. And actually, you can take a look at our decision engine page to learn a little bit more about how this thing could power your application process, your loan originations process, which is the heartbeat of your business anyhow. As always, you can get started. There's a 14-day free trial. Play around with it. Tons of templates are in the sandbox area. So I'm going to log into our demo environment, and I'll log in. And on the left-hand side, again, there are studios, engines, builders. You can build a lot of different things, but today I'm going to focus on the Rule Studio. So I'm going to click on the Rule Studio. You can create as many rules as you want, and these rules could be called upon by an API call, or it could be inserted right in to the applicant flow. You can have as many of these rules as you want. It could be on page 1, page 3, page 7. Doesn't really matter. It'll take in the third-party integrated partners, data, and first-party data you've collected on the application, render decisions. The one that I usually use to show this off is our personal loans decision tree. This is a simple rule. I'm going to click into that right now. By the way, there's the name of the rule, the ID of the rule, right? This is important if you want to do an API call. How many versions, this rule has sort of gone through in its history, and the last time it was modified, and the status of this rule. So I'm going to click into, the personal loans decision tree, and in the middle here is the canvas. This is where you could manipulate the rule. On the right-hand side, there's a bunch of controls, which we'll get into in a second. So right off the bat, you could zoom in and out of this canvas. Right? You can zoom in, zoom out. Some of our customers have some complex rule structures. But again, our rules could be connected to another rule to sort of clean it up a little bit. But if you want everything to be presented in one area, feel free. It doesn't really matter to us. The starting point, is the, I'm going to move this around a little bit for you guys to see how flexible this thing is, literally. The starting point is where you want to start calling that rule, right? This could be calling it through an API call. I'm going to go into that real quick. You can copy those lines of code and put it into your own code. Or this could get inserted into in between sort of pages, if you will, on your application process. So that's the starting point, and then you could keep on building the first node, the very first node, and this is where it bifurcates your application. And there's a couple of things you can see on the node itself. There's a name of the node. There's some notes in here as well, and the type of node. In this case, the node is a rules node or rule node. So I'm going to double click into this. I built this earlier. And again, the node title is quite a score. I can easily change that to Experian Vantage for score cutoff. Right. So if this is something you like to Vantage for cutoff. If this is something you like to name the node, you could do that, and you can just click on update, and the node name will be updated. But let's go back into that again. Since this is a rule type, once you've got everything else structured underneath the node, it's really hard to, it's actually forbidden for you to change that to an action node. So since it's a rule node, we have to have an expression. Right? This is important. And you can see that there's a couple of functionalities here. There is an and statement, there is rules and groups, add rule and add a group. So you can do some compounding of rules here, which I'm going to show you in a second. But this is a simple rule. And this variable here, Experian Vantage for score, this is coming from our integrated panel. Most likely this client have Experian enabled in our integration panel. And you can see that there's expression is greater than or equal to 600, and depends on the value or the type of variable, this drop down changes. So this reads Experian VantageScore score is greater than or equal to 600. So if it's greater than 600, it goes to the yes path. If it's less than 600, it'll go to the decline path. But what if you want to change something here? You want to change to Equifax, for example. So you can type in FICO 10 or Vantage 4. And you can see that you can switch that over to numbers of different offerings. In fact, well, we don't have an Equifax Vantage 4. Let's try FICO 10. There it is. There's an Equifax FICO 10 score, and we're generous today. We're going to do a 580 cutoff. As you type these rules out, you can see the expression on the bottom reflecting what you've done, and you can add a note, right? This was changed by Tim on today's July 31st, 2025. All right, so I'm going to update this rule, and you can see on the right-hand side the rules property, the date, the notes, and everything is changed. So that's how easy it is to do this. And if you want to be sure, right, to resolve this rule, you're going to click on the Save button, and behind this says the rules are saved. And one of the features we have here is that you can submit for approval. So this is where you can actually send it to your bank or your chief credit officer, if you will, or your partners to say, yep, I understand this change. Thank you very much, and I'll approve it. And then this rule can go into production. So once this rule is split into two on left and right hand side, like I said, if the if the FICO 10 score is less than 580, it'll go into the no or the no path, and this node is a different type of node, which is called action, and we can again change this by FICO 10 cut. I'll rename the node title, and this is an action, and we're going to change the status of the action to a decline node. And this outcome is essentially an internal API to light up other parts of our system, and this outcome will actually go into a credit decline outcome. And this outcome is an internal API will trigger other things. And in this particular case, when again say another session, it'll trigger an adverse action notification, right? So I'm going to make a note here: the credit decline outcome triggers a notice of adverse action email. And this is actually configured in our email template and decision outcomes on the left-hand side. So I'm going to update this, and now we have the decline node defined. So I'll leave it here. It's 8 minutes into our presentation today. So again, you can go to Rule Studio, start designing your own rule. All of the variables are in the library. And next time, I'm going to show you a couple more things on how to design a compounding rule and maybe add a scorecard and how this interacts with our decision engine. But this concludes our first episode of Credit Risk Management. Thank you very much. Have a good one.